Welcome back, you guys, to Living Your Life R&R. So today, we went to Sharpshooters Gun Club and Range, and we wanted to share this with you guys. So without further ado, let's get it started.
Stop, interrupt, I'll try to answer the best I can, okay? Alright, so here's my first little soapbox. Everybody that's got a gun owner, looking to be a gun owner, that type of stuff, someplace in their life, they've got to make a decision, and it's nothing that you have to decide today, and it's nothing you have to answer to me. But you got to make that decision. Are you willing to pull this trigger and end another human being's life? And that's a very big question. And some people go yes, some people go maybe, and some people go no. And some people say no until they get more comfortable with the whole process. And they're like, I feel more comfortable in what I'm doing, and yes, I can defend myself, that type of stuff. So, that being said, some people think they buy a gun and all the problems are going to go away. They just get the gun out and the problem goes away. And that's not the way it happens. So if you're not to the point that you're willing to pull this trigger to defend your life, then my recommendation is to just leave the gun in a closet, because I don't want them to take the gun away from you and use it on you or use it on somebody else. That's my soapbox.
Okay.
I'm done. Okay. Next is onward with training. Okay. This is a dummy gun. There's no bullets. It has a little bit of weight just to make it feel like it has bullets.
Okay.
A slide, nothing works on this gun except for the trigger. And when you pull the trigger, it shoots a laser. So we can practice all of our gun gear and pulling the trigger and doing our sights, and it doesn't go bang, it doesn't hurt anybody unless you shine the laser in your eye, that type of stuff. So I am going to give you one of these, and you're just going to kind of keep it pointed that direction. And here we go. My 3 safety rules. Okay, safety rule number 1 is we always keep this gun pointed in a safe direction. Loaded, unloaded, getting ready to take it apart to clean it, whatever, we are always going to keep this gun in a safe direction. You get to decide what a safe direction is where you're at. In here, it's down at the floor pointing that direction, or pointing that direction, because those bullet traps down there are designed to catch bullets. We don't want to be pointing the gun sideways. We don't want to turn around and ask Mom a question. Nothing like that. So we're always going to keep the gun pointed in the safe direction. Rule number 2, we're always going to keep our finger off it. It's very natural to put your finger on the trigger. Hollywood does it all the time. But the problem with having your finger on the trigger is that this hand likes to do what this hand does in stressful situations. So if you get to the point that you have a gun and you're in your house and you hear noise and you're like, what in the world's going on? And somebody comes up around the corner and goes, hey! And you go, yeah! And when you squeeze this, if it's on the trigger, we go bang, and we shoot our friend that's trying to just play a joke on us. That's not a good day. If your finger's here, when you squeeze, you just squeeze the frame, and then you can bless them out, and they'll wet their pants when they see that you could have shot them, and you've already wet your pants because they scared you to death, and then you can laugh about it about 2 years later. So fingers off the trigger, okay? I am sure I will remind you several times today, so don't be offended when I go, hey, fingers on the trigger, where's your finger on the trigger?
Okay.
So, rule number 1 is?
Safe place.
Safe direction. Rule number 2?
No finger on the trigger.
Right. Not until we're ready to shoot. Even when we get to the point that we're pointing this gun at somebody, our finger isn't going on the trigger until we've made that mental decision that it is time, and then the trigger gently goes down on the trigger. The finger goes down on the trigger. Whew, that was a lot to say. Okay. Rule number 3. We have to know our target. We don't need to know him personally. We don't need to know his name, his horoscope sign, nothing like that. We just need to know good or bad. We can't be shooting in shadows. We can't be shooting at things moving in the dark, that type of stuff, because we don't know good, bad. We don't know what's really going on, whatever. So we've got to be able to identify our target. Okay? Not only do we need to identify our target, we need to know what's past our target. If we miss, that bullet is going somewhere. This bullet's going to travel hundreds of yards given the choice. it's going to go quite a distance. What if I miss him? What is it going to hit? So you got to the point that you're carrying a concealed weapon. This person approaches you in a parking lot in such a manner that you fear for your life. You present this gun. Now, is grandma pushing the cart back to the cart corral? Is there a car full of teenagers driving by? That type of stuff. So, grandma, maybe we can, if she's going this way, I step over here and now I've changed the whole backdrop because I've changed my angle. The car, hopefully that moves. Sometimes you don't have a choice, and that's when marksmanship comes in. I know that I'm going to shoot and I'm going to hit this person. So, practice and marksmanship. So, that's my 3 rules. Rule number 1, same direction. 2,
Finger on the trigger.
3,
No what's behind the person.
target and what's behind you. Patient.
No patient.
If he keeps coming, he's going to become a patient. That's it. Yeah, he's making bad life decisions, and you're giving him an option to change. Right? Okay. All right. Now we get into our shooting. Okay. So what I am looking for, and this is a basic fundamental shooting stance. As you progress, you'll probably be, if you go that far, you'll probably be doing some moving and shooting. But right now we are stationary target shooting. So I want to be square with my target. I want my feet about shoulder width apart, and I'm going to be squared up with the target. Now, squared up with the target doesn't mean I want to stand right directly in front of some guy with a gun. Okay? It just means that even if I'm over here, I can be square with the target because of the way my feet are pointing to that target.
Okay.
So, let's see. I don't know, I haven't done this yet today. But if my feet are square, my hands come together, I'm doing a little triangle, I'm looking at you. How did I do? Did I hit the target?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Pretty close. I got close. All right. So I'm not even looking because my body is squared up. If I drop this foot, now I come together here, which means I got to turn hips, I got to do shoulders, I got to do a lot of different stuff. So this is why we're going squared up with my target. If this is your bedroom door, and this guy is coming down the hallway, I don't want to go, hey, what are you doing in my house? Get out of my house. I would much rather hide behind the door frame. I am still squared up with my target, and I'm just going to lean out a little bit, and I'm going to give him a lot of gun, a little bit of my arm, a little bit of my eye. But the rest of me is hiding behind the wall here. We want to, if we're playing this game, we want to cheat. We want all the advantage we can get.
That's right.
So he's standing in the hallway. This is where I don't want to, but I'm still square with my target. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So, we're going to go for a little bit of an aggressive or an athletic or a fighter stance. Shoulder width apart. I want a little bit of bend in the knees. Some people really get aggressive in their bend in the knee, but I just don't want your knees locked. I want them kind of like a shock absorber. If you get bumped or whatever, you're not going to fall. I get some people that like to lean on their sights, and in this smaller caliber, that's not such a big deal. As you get up into a larger caliber that has recoil, if you're leaning back and it goes boom, you're on your heels, you're off balance. So at least up, if not leaning into it just a little bit. Okay? So, shoulder width apart, just a little bit of bend in the knees, and then we're going to lean forward. Okay? All right, so that's our stance. Next comes the firing of this gun. You haven't asked a single question.
I'm pretty good because
Okay. Next comes the firing of this gun. 3 things. It's grip. It's our sight picture. These are our sights. We'll show you how to do that. And then it will be our trigger. Okay, so on a grip, on the semi-automatic, we want the web of this hand up into this duckbill. Okay? Finger indexed on the front. These fingers just wrap around. Some of these handles are big, some of them are little, some fingers are long, some of them are short, little sausage fingers, whatever. So, this hand, we're going to put the bead of this hand, the palm, that goes on that handle. It may be over the fingers, but we don't want that here where they're kissing palms. On that grip. And because this red is where all the energy's at, if I am holding it down here low, this gun has more chance to move. Where I like to get it up here as close to this red line as possible. So that's beautiful.
Okay.
Right thumb over left thumb. Thumbs are pointing towards what we're going to shoot. And then we're going to stretch these arms out. Yep. Nice and straight. Because this gun, to be able to function, needs the energy of that bullet to make the slide go back. It kicks out an old one. Slide goes forward, picks up a new one, puts it in there. So if we have limp wrists and elbows, then instead of the slide moving, maybe the whole gun moves and you have malfunction. So that's why we're pressing this out.
Okay.
Now it stands mine, which is a scary mistake. All right? But this hand's job, it's pushing out, yes, but its main job is trigger pull. This hand, I am going to pull back, this, and I'm going to squeeze. And this hand controls the movement of this gun. So I'm trying to keep this front sight wiggling as little as possible when I pull the trigger. Once you pull the trigger and it goes bang, it's fine. The bullet's already down in the bullet trap. So if the gun jumps, that's fine. Hold it as still as possible when I pull that trigger. So that's our grip. You're looking really good on the grip. Next comes sight picture. Once you've seen that this is a bad guy, it's going to be tough to take your eyes off of him. But this is where I want you to focus your eye. Right here on this front side. And stand by. I'm going to go off camera for a second. You've never been filmed before. This is freaking me out. I'm not responsible for anything I say.
You're fine.
Okay. So this is what we want our sights to look like. This is my front sight. These two are my back sights, right? I want them nice and level, and I want the equal amount of light. So here's the front sight, and it's high. It's going to end up making you shoot high. If your front sight is low, you're going to shoot low. If you have a lot of daylight over here and no daylight here, you're going to go right and you're going to go left. So this is what I'm going for right here. Nice level across. So we're going to focus on this. This is going to be a little blurry, but we're going to get them all lined up. And then we're going to bring the sights up, and we are going to shoot for the 8. Why do I want you to shoot up there? There's this cool X right here.
No.
Why would we want to shoot up
I
there?
want to shoot a little bit higher so that I can focus and where the abdominal is.
So right up here is pumps and pipes. You got your heart and large vessels, right? That is your best chance. We're not trying to kill him. We're trying to stop this threat as quickly as possible. Shooting him in the head would stop the threat the fastest, but it's small and it wiggles a lot. So this is a bigger target, and so we're going to aim for here. That way if we miss a little bit here, miss a little bit here, we're still going to hit target. And most of these gun battles are won by the first person to put an accurate round on target. Because it really changes your mind when you hear boom and then you feel pain. So if you're the first one to put pain on him, he's probably going to change his mind before you do. So this is what we're going to do for sight picture. Okay? Lay that down here. Get rid of this. All right. Throwing a lot at you. Are you absorbing all this?
Yes, sir.
We're going to find out in a second. All right. Stance, grip, sight picture. Next comes, where's that finger supposed to be?
Oh, right here.
There you go, good girl. Now, I would love, when it's time to put your finger on the trigger, I'd love the trigger right here in the middle of this finger. Okay? Now, I have my little ladies that are guys that have arthritis. They'll have very good, and they'll go in really deep to like the second, and get in as much to be able to pull that trigger. And we can teach around that, but that has a tendency to pull the gun. Or if you just use the tip of your finger, sometimes you can push it, and that makes your bullets go kind of weird. So I'd like to be right in the center of that, and I'm not looking for a curl. I'm looking for, I want to pull this straight back in line with this gun. So all of this, everything we're doing is to try to get this to wiggle as little as possible when we shoot. Okay? All right.
Okay, not a curl, but just.
Right, because Because if you curl, you're gonna have a tendency to pull that gun. If you can just pull it, straight back. And we don't have to pull the trigger fast. Slapping the trigger, pulling the trigger fast doesn't make the bullet go any faster. It just makes the bullet go wild. Okay? So we're just going to nice and easy, we're going to pull the slack out of that, and we're just going to squeeze that, press that until it goes clip. Alright? Alright, so let's get our stance. I'm going to get out of your way. You can line up in front of Mr. Jolly Green Giant there. So, shoulder width apart, you're going to lean into it just a little bit. Good. You don't have to bend down, that type of stuff. Bring that gun up to your sights there, stretch that out, and line those up, and let's see how we do on the 8. Ooh, we got that on camera. Good job. Good. Excellent. There's not a lot of, and I am not so concerned, these lasers are not perfectly on.
Okay.
So if you get close to the 8, but what I am looking for right now here is as little wiggle. So this is a real gun. It shoots fairly small bullets. So it's a 22 long rifle is the bullet that this is. So this is made by Glock. That'd be like Ford, Chevy, Dodge. It's a manufacturer. They make lots of different models of guns. Most of them are quite a bit the same. So we're going to go over a couple things on this gun. This little button right here is called the magazine release. So when you push that in, the magazine comes out.
Okay.
This is what holds the bullets. Okay? Some people call it a clip. Technically it's a magazine, but that's a whole argument for a different day. Right? So this is, and we'll show you how to load that. Okay? Again, the way this gun works is when you pull the trigger and it goes bang, the energy, the bullet goes through the paper and downrange. The bottom part, so this little copper, this little pink colored part, that is what goes down the barrel. Okay? This brass colored part, that holds the gunpowder, and that, some of the energy makes this slide go backwards. And it will throw on and open. Now, while you're shooting, you may feel something hit you, and each gun ejects or throws these out in a different way. So some of them, you can see how this is going all dinged up. That's from the brass coming out of the gun hitting that. Sometimes it'll bounce back and you'll feel it hit you in the head or on the shoulder. You can see where they're all laying here on the ground. They're all spent between the kids in here shooting earlier today.
Okay.
So when we get ready to go, bang, this thing goes back, forward, goes out, it's ready to go. It will shoot 10 times, because this will hold 10. You can shoot 10 times without having to do anything to this gun. But to get the first one in the chamber, you have to put the magazine in, pull this back and let it go. We want to pull this back and let it go. We don't want to pull it back and then let it go softly, because I need the energy of this slide to put that bullet in properly. Because if this is just a little bit out of battery like this, it won't fire. So you pull this back, you gotta let it go, let it seat that bullet in there. Okay? There's not a lot of extra safeties on this gun. Glock does one safety, and they call it a safe action trigger. This little piece of plastic right here, I don't know if you can see it on the back side, when I press on that, it wiggles.
Yeah.
So if your finger or something's not touching that, the trigger will not activate. Okay? Your finger or something has to be on there for the trigger to work. Okay? So that is why you have to figure out the trigger. I'm not a big extra safety person, because it's something else that can fail, it's something else that I gotta remember, it's something else that my safety is I'm keeping my finger off the trigger. And like for this gun, I keep it in a quality holster so it protects the trigger. Paramedic before this, I didn't take anybody that I can remember to the hospital that was attacked by their gun. Okay? It was always something got to the trigger. Most often, 99% of the time, it was a human finger that got on the trigger and pulled the trigger and made it go boom. I did have like a somebody had it laying underneath the back seat on a shotgun, and they pulled on it, and went boom, and shot a hole in the truck. Yeah. So we protect the trigger, keep our finger off the trigger. After this gun going off accidentally, very slow. Okay. That is pretty much it. This little button right here is called a slide lock. So when this, they call this a follower, it follows the bullets up. When you stack them up in there, it's got a spring, and these push the bullets up so that they're ready to go into the barrel. Okay? When it's the last one, this follower right here, this little piece of plastic, will push up on this. You can see, let's see, can you see how it's wiggling?
Yeah.
All right, so when it's the last one, and you pull the trigger and it goes boom, the slide goes back, and that pushes it up and it locks it right there. And it'll lock it open like that to let you know that, hey, I'm empty, I'm hungry, feed me. You know, put some more in there. To get that to go forward, you just take the magazine out, pull that slide back, and let it go.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of extra working parts. These little guys right here are for taking it apart to clean.
Oh.
We won't really discuss that today. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that. All right? So what I'm going to have you do, this is empty. We open this up, and you can see that little hole right in there. That's the barrel. That's where a bullet would normally be. So you can pull that back and look in there and go, okay, there's no bullet in that hole. That's good. You can look through this. It's empty. So this gun is empty, but we're still going to keep it pointed in a safe direction. But I'm going to have you dry fire this gun, which means you're going to practice on your stance, your grip, your sight picture. Find that number 8, drop your finger down on the trigger, and gently pull that trigger. It's going to do several different things. It gets you to feel what this trigger feels like. You'll know how much pull before it goes click. Makes you get your grip each time. And because there's no bullets in here, you have to pull the slide back every time to reset the trigger. So I'm going to have you, just like we did with the laser, you're going to go click. Finger comes off the trigger, pull the slide back, click, try to keep that from wiggling. Okay? So let's do some dry fire. Alright? I've already pulled it back the first time. So the only thing that you have to do is get your grip. Now think about it. And there you go. Good girl. Alright. Very good. Comes off, pull that slide back and let it go, and get moving with it.
Like this?
Yep.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
you gotta do.
Okay.
Alright, get that grip nice, looks good, right thumbs over left, find that number 8, and good job. Pull that slide back. Alright, now I want you to do this until you get comfortable with that, because the next thing is to load some bullets and make it go. Alright. We're going to pull this slide back and let it go. Now, I have one more speech.
Okay.
You ready?
Huh?
I've had a lot of different emotional experiences after shooting this gun.
Okay.
And I really don't care about the emotional spirit. I've had criers and singers and dancers and runners and whatever.
Uh-huh.
All I care about is this gun being safe and the rest of us being safe. So, when you go boom, if you need a moment to breathe, just lay the gun down, step back, shake it out, scream, holler, you know, do something for the camera that's really impressive. Maybe we can make $100,000. Okay. But we're not going to run around with the gun.
I know.
So get your stance, get your grip, get that number 8, and when you are ready, feel free to gently press that trigger. All right, very good. You see, went right there. That's not so bad for the first shot. Good girl. So, wasn't very bad, right? Not a lot of kick. Hit your noise.
That's the smoke. That's it.
A little bit of smoke, yeah. Okay, got 4 more in there.
Okay.
Nope. Sorry. So the gun does that all by itself.
I forget.
No, that's one of those bad things about
Yeah.
dry fire is that you get used to pulling the slide back.
Uh-huh.
And all you have to do is just pull the trigger. It is ready to go.
All right.
Nice and easy. Line those sights up. Okay, that one went right there.
Okay.
See that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Alrighty. Alright. So let me have you grip this again. Did you see that that one went right there?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let's grip this gun again. Get your grip on it. Oops, sorry, my big old feet are in the way. Alright, so what I want you to do is tighten this up a little bit. And that last one, when you pull the trigger, right before you pull the trigger, you dip just a little bit. We call that anticipation.
Uh-huh.
So you're anticipating the recoil, so you're kind of leaning into it, expecting it to come back. So we're gonna hold this nice and steady, and you're gonna gently just pull that trigger and just kind of let it surprise you while you're sighting all that up, okay? All right, I think that one went right there. That's good stuff. All right, so we're empty, but when you put your trigger, because you're going from this to bang really fast, all right? That's a lot of movement. So drop your finger down on there, take just a second, and then pull it, okay? All right, let's take the magazine out. That was kind of a wimpy, all right, there we go. Now we kicked one out because he was already going in. You pulled him back, so you only have 4 to shoot now, which is no biggie. Okay, feel free. That one's right there. Good job. Take it second. When you put that finger on the trigger, just take a second before you pull. That one's right there. Good job. I think that one went up there. Oh, look at that. You shot the hat off of it. Good job. Okay, those are 4. Go ahead and take the magazine out. Yep. Now pull that slide back all the way and let it go. Good girl. Get that grip. And nice, easy, take your time on that trigger. Just drop that finger down there and squeeze. Very good. That one went right there. That one went right there next to the 8. Watch that gun dip when you pull that trigger, so. Right there. Okay. So, unfortunately, it may not seem like it was an hour, but our hour is up. So let's bring this target in. And that's good. Yes, you got some here and some here, but it's your first time shooting.
Yeah.
I am more worried about you doing this right, and this will come together with practice. But I just wanted you to make sure that you're getting that stuff good. So, all right, that is pretty much what we've got. You get to hold on to these.
Oh, okay.
That way, if you come back,
Okay.
you got some bullets to shoot.
Okay.
And we'll wrap this up.
Alrighty.
You can take this home, put it on your door, and write "Welcome" underneath it.
Okay. I sure am.
Oh my. Questions, comments, thoughts?
Anyone want to try me? Not today. Not today. Not today. You see that? No, not today.
She's trained in firearms. Hey.